The atmosphere is tense inside the cold chamber of the Intergalactic Council. Rawl, a representative from the Sectar species, stands at the forefront, his translucent scales shimmering under the dim lights. He surveys the faces of the 20 different species present, each unique in shape and form yet united by a palpable fear. "They're coming," Rawl states, his voice trembling. A silence blankets the room as his words sink in. The council members exchange glances, their expressions revealing a shared understanding. The word humans hangs heavily in the air. "Humans have reached our borders," Rawl continues. The mention of humans sends a wave of dread through the room. They are not merely a species. They are a force to be reckoned with. Each council member knows the implications of Rawl's announcement, but no one dares to vocalize their fears. Rawl continues, his mandibles quivering as he speaks. They don't negotiate. They don't send emissaries. They don't announce themselves. They simply take. Dakin, a hulking creature from the Tekron species, slams his fist onto the round table, breaking the tension. "Why should we cower before them? We have fleets, armadas. Let them come. They'll find no easy prey here." A murmur ripples through the council, some sharing Dakin's sentiment, but the underlying fear remains evident. Everyone recalls the tales of what humans have done to other species, how they operate outside the norms of negotiation, leaving destruction in their wake. Catrix, a slimy minister from the Itri species, interjects with a hiss. "But you misunderstand. Humans are unlike any other predators. They don't fight for dominance or territory. They fight because it's inherent to their nature. They will not retreat. They will not show mercy." His words hang in the air, dark and foreboding, as the council chamber dims, revealing a vast holographic map at the center. The map illuminates the sectors near the council's borders. Faint signals indicate the presence of a human fleet on the outer rim. "What you see is only the tip of the iceberg. A small fleet, 30 vessels probing our defenses," Rawl warns. Dakin, leaning forward, retorts, "A small fleet. We will meet them in open combat, destroy their scouts before they can call for reinforcements." Catrix, visibly anxious, slithers in his seat. No one survives direct engagement with humans. Their ships operate on unknown energy signatures. They adapt. They outmaneuver. Dakin shakes his head defiantly. "Let them adapt. We are not cowards like you, Itri. The Tekron will crush them before they become a greater threat." The argument escalates, different species turning on each other in a desperate bid to display strength, masking their mutual fear. Then, a calm but authoritative voice cuts through the chaos. Zorak, an elder from the Shuron species, rises slowly, his limbs creaking like ancient machinery. "Fools! You debate whether to fight them as though you have a choice. They will come for us, not because they seek war, but because they are war," Zorak says, his voice steady. The chamber falls silent. Even the fury of the council seems to cool under Zorak's steady gaze. "They do not ask, nor do they listen. They will break us, one species at a time or all together." Dakin, the warrior, itches for a fight. "So what do you propose, Elder?" "We stand by and let them take our worlds." "You misunderstand the nature of humans," Zorak explains. "They have come for others, and those others are gone. Entire species erased. You either submit or vanish." Dakin clenches his fists, disbelief etched on his face. "Then you will submit." "Without a doubt, and it won't matter," Zorak replies. The gravity of Zorak's words settles over the council like a heavy shroud. They all understand what's at stake. This isn't just about borders or territory. It's about survival. As the hologram flickers, depicting the slow approach of the human fleet, the council confronts a stark realization. They may not stand a chance. They've crossed the outer boundary. Cray shouts, his voice resonating through the war room. The council members shift from debate to desperate decision-making. The holographic map expands to reveal more human ships advancing into their sectors. Dakin's warriors stand at the ready, equipped with plasma rifles. The tension is palpable as Dakin approaches the map, narrowing his eyes. This is perfect. They've made a mistake, Dakin says, his mandibles clicking with anticipation. They've handed us an opportunity. These scouts are here to gauge our response. We'll strike hard, eliminate their lead force before they can report back. Rawl, although skeptical, nods in agreement. No mercy. Prepare for engagement, Dion commands. Across the Tekron fleet, plasma cannons hum to life, targeting systems locking onto the approaching human vessels. Dakin feels the thrill of battle surge through him. This is where he belongs. As the human ships draw closer, a nagging doubt creeps into Dakin's mind. The lead vessels lack discernible formation or strategy. They drift into Tekron space casually, as if they are simply passing through hostile territory. Scan their ships again, Dakin orders. His second-in-command, Crawl, hesitates briefly before relaying the fresh data. No life signs. They're empty. Dakin's blood runs cold. Trap. Panic ripples through the bridge as an enormous energy signature spikes behind them. They've flanked us, a voice from the command center calls out. Dakin grips the nearest console for support as the Tekron ships are rocked violently. Shields to full. Reverse course. But it's too late. The first Tekron destroyer explodes in a brilliant flash, scattering debris into the vastness of space. Reroute all power to weapons. Dakin shouts, determination surging through him as his flagship's plasma cannons spring to life, firing volleys at the human ships. The enemy vessels absorb most of the damage, but one spirals out of control, colliding with a nearby cruiser. Direct hit, Crawl exclaims. Yet, before they can celebrate, another wave of human firepower descends upon them. The bridge dims, emergency lights casting an eerie glow over the frantic crew. We can't hold them, the tactical officer reports. We die as warriors. Prepare the self-destruct. We'll take as many as we can with us, Dakin commands. Crawl hesitates, his hand hovering over the console. Sir, there's no way. Do it, Dakin insists. Suddenly, the ship lurches again, not from an attack, but as the human ships pull back. Confusion reigns. Why are they retreating? Dakin wonders aloud. Then he sees it. A massive ship emerging from the shadows, dwarfing even Dakin's flagship. This is no ordinary warship, Crawl says, his voice trembling. In the council chamber, chaos ensues as the news from the battlefield unfolds. We've lost contact with the Tekron fleet. No signal, no debris, nothing. Rawl reports. Catrix trembles, his gelatinous form shaking with fear. What do we do now? If they're gone, what chance do we have? Zorak rises, his old eyes revealing no surprise. They weren't destroyed. They were taken. The council gasps in confusion. Taken by the humans. What does that mean? Crawl asks. They are no longer fighting ships or armies. The humans didn't come to fight. They came to assimilate, Zorak explains. A shiver runs through the council as Zorak's words take hold. The Tekron are either dead or worse, used against us. They don't just take territory. They take knowledge, technology, biology, everything. They adapt. Dakin's fleet has likely been absorbed into the human war machine. The thought sends waves of panic through the council members, the sense of dread escalating as the reality of their situation dawns on them. We must unite against them. We cannot allow this to happen to any more of our allies. Rawl urges. Dakin, his eyes wild with rage, clenches his fists. If we do nothing, we will all be next. Zorak lifts a hand, silencing the gathering storm of anger. We must think strategically. The humans are clever. They bait us into a direct conflict, waiting for our forces to weaken before launching their main attack. We must devise a different plan. As the chamber slowly settles into tense contemplation, Catrix lets out a low hiss. And if they are already in our ranks? The council's realization begins to sink in. Fear and paranoia are spreading like wildfire. In a universe where trust is a fragile concept, they now must consider betrayal from within. Back in space, the human warship looms large, an intimidating behemoth of dark steel and advanced technology. Its hull is marked with the scars of countless battles, giving it an air of predatory grace. Dakin's ships, now scattered and vulnerable, prepare for the inevitable onslaught. All ships form up. We hold our ground here, Dakin commands. As they regroup, a soft hum fills the air, followed by a series of blinding flashes. The human ship releases a wave of drones, each one a harbinger of death. Dakin's ships brace for impact. Engage all weapons. Protect our home, Dakin shouts. The bridge erupts into chaos, alarms blaring as energy beams fly through the void. Ships disintegrate and lives are lost in an instant. Dakin screams orders, his voice drowning in the cacophony of destruction. On the bridge of the flagship, Dakin witnesses his fleet crumble under the relentless assault of human technology. "We will not go quietly into the night," he cries out. But as the battle rages, he watches helplessly as his comrades fall one by one. The screens show the once mighty fleet turning into a graveyard of broken ships. Each flicker of light on the monitor is a life extinguished, a family lost. Dakin fights against despair, forcing himself to focus. Suddenly, a communication signal blares to life. A face appears on the screen, a human commander clad in armor that seems to pulse with an otherworldly energy. "Surrender now, and your species will be spared. Resist, and you will meet your end," the commander declares. Dakin, feeling the weight of his failures, clenches his jaw. "We will never surrender." The commander's face betrays a flicker of amusement, as if he expected this response. "Very well. Your end is imminent." The screen flickers off, and Dakin watches in horror as the human fleet advances, relentless in their pursuit of domination. As energy beams cut through the last of the Techron ships, a single thought fills Dakin's mind. Survival is not just a fight against the enemy, it's a race against the inevitable. With one final push, he initiates the self-destruct sequence, ready to take as many as he can with him. In the council chamber, silence reigns. They stare at the holographic display, their worst fears confirmed. Ships are gone, lives extinguished, and the specter of humanity looms larger than ever. "What now?" Catrix asks, his voice barely a whisper. Zorak speaks with somber authority. "We prepare for what is to come. It is not just our survival at stake, but the future of our galaxy." Raul nods, determination flooding his voice. "Then we must unite. No more factions, no more mistrust. We face a common enemy, and we will not let them take us without a fight." The council members, initially filled with doubt, begin to rally together, recognizing the urgency of their situation. "We gather our resources, strengthen our defenses, and form alliances. We will be the barrier that stops humanity's advance," Zorak declares. The atmosphere in the room shifts from despair to resolve. United in their fear, they prepare for the inevitable confrontation. The camera pans out from the council chamber, through the vastness of space, showing the remains of the Techron fleet and the approaching human warships. As the final words echo, the stakes are clear. In the fight for survival, there is no room for complacency. Humanity is not just a threat, they are a force that could change the fabric of the universe. The Council knows that they must fight not just for themselves, but for every species across the galaxy. The screen fades to black, leaving viewers with a haunting reminder of the power of unity and the resolve to face insurmountable odds.